Are you interested in investing in the stock market? Would you like to learn how you can make money with your money without requiring a lot of your time? That is exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's live stream. I want to introduce you to the investing and the stock market world. We're going to talk all about investing and how you can start doing it, and any questions that you might have. If you have any more, just leave them in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Welcome to the Flaming Profits YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so that you do not miss out on any brand new videos, and also make sure you give me a like before we get started. This is a live stream that I got the opportunity to be on by Four Eyed Hustler. So he interviewed me for his show that he has where he interviews young hustlers. So it's pretty interesting. I get to share some of my story, how I got started investing in the stock market. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description. So he covers online selling. That's his specialty. So if you're interested in online selling, which is something that I used to do as well, make sure you go to his channel so that you can start learning more about that as well, because there can be many options out there to make money.
All right. So we have episode 2 of Young Hustlers. My goal for this episode is to interview 100 young people. It's the future of reselling right here. So it's good to have Jason here. Jason's channel will be in the description below, so feel free to subscribe to him. He does stock trading and YouTube and a little bit of eBay, right, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I want to shout out some people in the chat. We got Victor. What's up, Victor? Yeah, Victor, you also have a channel too, so feel free to subscribe to his channel if you can log into your channel. We got Thrift Store Gold in the house. What's up, Martin, Christina? It's nice to see you here. Yes, we got Jason, a great guest right here. So basically the reselling niche is, selling on Amazon, selling on eBay. But we didn't really include like stock trading or like Forex trading. So we were very happy to have you here and tell us about that. So let's get started.
Slowly I started getting into trading stocks, and it's kind of my new thing going on that I have. It's pretty cool. I like it so far. I've been learning a lot, and that's what made me start my YouTube channel, Flaming Profits. So if you're interested in making money through different avenues, the reality is you can make money in very different ways. You don't have to stick with one thing. You're always open to try different things. You might like one thing more than the others, and you just have to go out and try them. And that's when I found stock market investing, and I've been pretty successful at it. And then it's really nice on your time. You don't have to dedicate a lot of your time. Like I was talking to Four Eyed Hustler, I pretty much do it while I work. So that's a pretty cool benefit. And so, yeah, that's what my YouTube channel is about. But if you're interested more about learning how to invest in stocks, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. But like I said, there's a lot of avenues out there. You just have to go out and dedicate yourself to learning and improving your craft. I like this quote a lot by Jim Rohn that says, profits will make you a fortune, but a wage will only make you a living. So that's what I live by. And anything from eBay to selling, stock market investing, all of that is profit. So as long as you focus on that, you'll be able to create a fortune for yourself.
Awesome, Jason. So yeah, definitely subscribe to his channel. I don't know how I found you, but I think I found you on like the reselling niche. It's some YouTube video of maybe a famous guy or something. And then I don't know, I just clicked on your channel and I just really liked your content and been subscribed ever since. So yep, definitely check out Jason's content. It'll be on the description below. Let's get to the chat. So we got Thrift Store Gold. He says, so excited to be here. Good luck with the live. Thank you. Definitely everyone in the chat, if you're not subscribed to Thrift Store Gold, definitely check him out. Christina Martin. And we have Victor. Victor says, let's talk the markets today. How are the markets today, Jason?
So today was a very, very red day. But this is actually very good. Many people underestimate how good a red market day can be. It only leaves room for profit. So I would take full advantage of great days like this. And we are getting very close to a possible stock market recession. So it's all about being cautious. But overall, it's a good experience for everyone. You should be able to learn and experience times like this, especially if you're young. It's a good lifelong experience when it comes down to investing in the stock market. And so, yeah, I'm also going to make a video about that tonight. So watch out for that. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Flaming Profits.
Awesome. So if you could explain, like, in simple terms, what is really going on, like, with the economy, I guess, because everything is connected with stocks.
Yeah, and it also has to do a lot with selling as well. So right now, there's been a lot of tariffs going on with China imports, and I know this is affecting a lot of dropshippers out there as well. But basically, they had dismissed that where they weren't going to tax imports from China. But all of a sudden, Trump decided to go towards that by a tweet that he released. And literally, as soon as he sent out the tweet, like the stock market reacted. And that's a huge deal for the overall economy because almost every single business operates on imported products from China all over the world, pretty much. And it's a big source of profits for companies. And this affects the overall stock market. And we're also pretty soon to getting a new president. So all this causes uncertainty in the market. And this is not a good thing for the stock market overall, but good benefits for everyone that hasn't invested yet or doesn't have a lot of money in the markets.
So when times like these happen, is it a time to buy or sell?
Yes,
What do you
definitely.
think?
You kind of have to have the opposite logic of what the stock market is doing. So whenever it's selling off, you should be buying. Whenever people are buying, you should be selling.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, thanks for explaining that, because for someone who doesn't really understand stocks, well, I'm still trying to learn it. It does have something to do with, the economy and the news, and so it's pretty interesting for you to explain that. So thank you.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
get back to the chat. We got Cow here. What's up? What's up? Thrift Store Gold says, awesome quote. Yes. And they say, your story is so inspiring. I don't know where we'd be if we got banned from eBay. So my second question is, if you had $100 extra, where would you spend that $100 in terms of stocks?
I would definitely go into dividend stocks. That's my huge focus on my portfolio. I want to have $10,000 a month in passive income every single month, and dividend investing is one of the ways that you can achieve this. So I have a whole cash flow system when it comes down to stock market investing, but dividend investing is my number one focus. It's a great way to build your net worth, and cash flow is a lot more important than accumulating money because it's basically like new money every single month that comes straight into your investment account that you can then deposit into your savings or checking account. And many people don't know this, but some stocks offer dividend payments like every 3 months, and this stuff accumulates as long as you continue to hold the stock. So you don't necessarily have to sell it. You just keep it long term, and you'll continue getting that payment every 3 months. And some stocks even pay it monthly. And if you start at a young age, like 25, 20, and from every paycheck you receive, you add to dividend stocks, that you can accumulate a lot. And one of my ambitious goals is having 10,000 a month just from dividend stocks.
Wow, so you just said like 10,000 a month just from dividends.
Yeah, you can definitely do it as long as you continue to set aside a certain percentage of your paycheck or income and invest it into dividend stocks. You also take advantage of compound interest, which exponentially adds to your portfolio over time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just give us an idea, how much would you, to make 10,000 a month on dividends, how much money do you think you would have to have invested in stocks?
Honestly, it's more than $1 million. But I definitely think that anyone can make $1 million throughout their lifetime. Just do the math. Think about an average salary. It's 50,000 a year, and a lot of people make more than that. So as long as you're consistent, you'll definitely make $1 million in your lifetime. It's just a matter of keeping some of that income and being disciplined about investing it. So there's a lot to learn, and a lot of people are very limited in what they think it's possible. So that's why I always recommend to keep your options open, always be learning, because there's a lot of things that people don't even realize you can achieve financially.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So my third question is, there are like a couple types of trading. What other types of trading do you know? And I
Yeah.
know you
Mm-hmm.
put it on your YouTube channel, and I saw that video, but I wanted to see if you could explain it in the most simple terms for us
Yeah.
new.
Okay. So there's a lot of strategies when it comes down to stock market investing. The most riskiest is day trading, where you have a certain cash amount that you invest that day on a specific stock, and then you sell all of your position on that single day. And this is a lot of risk because your position can easily go south, where you actually lose money in your investment. But you can actually make a lot of money if it goes as planned. But many day traders use different techniques such as stop loss. If they reach like a loss of $50, like their whole investment sells by itself. And those are techniques you can use like as a day trader. Um, but there's a lot of strategies when it comes down to specifically day trading. But that's something that a lot of people like give a lot of attention to. But it's not necessarily the safest or easiest. It's actually very hard to do. I actually successfully did it for my first day trade ever, and I made a video about it. I made like $66 on Facebook on a day trade, and I used like $2,000 to do that. The next thing is swing trading. That's my main expertise. It's basically I hold a stock for, let's say, a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months. It usually doesn't go past 6 months, and I make like a short-term big profit. And this is taking advantage of a market opportunity within a specific company. So if I'm noticing based on technical analysis, which is like studying the charts of a stock, that it's starting to hit the line of support where the stock price normally bounces at, I pay close attention and slowly add to my position as it continues to show the same pattern as it did before. And then I quickly sell all of my investment in that stock within like a month to 3 months and take some profit. Like I did this with Activision Blizzard, a video game company, and I made like 444. I made a video on that. I also did it with Tesla. I think it was like 560 on that investment. And I've done this with Facebook as well and other companies. So that's swing trading for you. And I talk a lot about it because, like I said, it's kind of like my expertise that I focus on. And then there's long-term investing, where it's just like what Warren Buffett does. Basically, you look at the long-term aspect in terms of the company, how it will perform against its competitors in the long term. And this is usually the most easiest because over the long term, the stock market overall grows. So definitely a lot less risky, and most people have most success with that. So basically, day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing. There's also like other specific niches like momentum trading, which is like taking advantage of popularity in a stock for a very short period of time. And you can go into a lot more, but that's pretty much a brief overview of the three different types of strategies when it comes down to investing in the stock market.
Awesome. So day trading, swing trading, and long-term trading.
Mm-hmm.
So for day trading example, you said that you take a position during the day and then you sell it at night before the market closes?
Well, when the market closes, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens if you don't sell it and you just keep that position to the next day?
Then it wouldn't be considered a day trade, but I guess it would be a swing trade. And you're leaving the factor of the market, how it's going to react the next day. That's why day traders only take it day by day. They don't like leaving like their money in the market for uncertainty reasons. And day trading usually involves a lot of money. Like you can't really make that much money if you day trade because stocks normally only go up between like $1 to $5 most, unless you're posting earnings that day, which then it could go up by like 10, 5, 15%. But pretty much most successful day traders usually trade with like thousands of dollars, 10,000 or $100,000 even. So that's basically what would happen if you leave it up to the next day.
Okay. And are there any fees if you leave it the next day? How does that work?
No, there's no fees. Some brokerages charge a commission every trade you make. So if you buy 10 shares of a company at once, they'll charge you a commission for that one trade you did with those 10 shares. Or if you only buy one share, they charge you a commission, the same amount for that trade that you did. But nowadays, we don't have to worry about that because there's apps like Robinhood, which is my favorite investing brokerage. And that one doesn't charge you any fees at all when you make a trade. There's no commissions at all. So it's kind of like a cool app that you can use.
Awesome. So a Robinhood. Okay. Did you ever trade with another platform before and had to pay fees?
No, it's my only platform I've used, and I pretty much stuck to it. I mean, I've used M1 Finance, that's another one, but that one's a little bit different where you can buy fractional shares. So for example, Amazon stock, a lot of people want to invest in that one, but it costs about $2,000 a share. And with that one, you can just spend $10 or $100 in that stock, and you'll own like 0.05 of that stock. So, and also there's Acorns where you link it to your debit card, and every time you make a purchase, it rounds up your change and invests it into like an account that they have for you, where it gets invested in the market based on your risk tolerance. So those are three apps I use, but none of them charge a fee.
Okay, awesome. Yes, because it doesn't really make sense to have, if you're going to be doing this a lot during the day, it would suck to have, a $7 fee charge per trade.
Yeah,
so
no, it doesn't make sense.
Showed us. Yeah, cool. So I want to go back to the chat. We got the Nashville Flippers. Hey, Dustin and Ray, what's up? And we got Caffeinated Christy. Thanks for being here. Definitely subscribe to each other if you haven't. They have great content. Nashville Flippers, they sell video games and then other things that they get on the thrift stores. And Caffeinated Christy also has some shipping videos on her channel as well. So definitely check that out. Awesome. So let's get into the fourth question.
So there's a lot of fears that go on with trying something new or something you never experienced, but it's all about just doing it. It's actually not that bad once you go out and try it for yourself. Usually people, when they start something new, you develop all sorts of fears, like what if this happens, what if that happens, and I don't know what I would do in this situation. But the most important thing is just going out and doing it. It's honestly not that bad, and if you continue this attitude when it comes down with everything, I'm pretty sure you'll be a lot more successful than others. It's just our mentality that we're naturally scared, and we don't like to try and go out and do different things that we haven't done before. Courage goes a long way in your success in the long run.
Right on, man. You said it well. So before we have a question for Jason from Chris, but I also see Daniel Martin. What's up, man? Definitely subscribe to Daniel Martin. He's a eBay seller and he's also
Okay.
a student. So definitely subscribe to him. The question is, I'll show it. Thrifty says, Jason, have you invested in cryptocurrency and what are your thoughts on investing in it?
Yeah, so I bought a little bit into cryptocurrency, but not anything small, probably less than $10 at a time. And then I quickly sell it as soon as I make like $2 or $3. I'm a huge believer in don't invest in things you don't understand. So cryptocurrency is one of those subjects that I still have a lot more to learn before I invest into it a lot more. But it's kind of like a high risk, high reward type of scenario when it comes down to crypto. But if you understand it and you believe in the fundamentals and also the technical analysis, then I would start out small and slowly add to it as you get more profitable in it. Just how I do with my swing trading investments. But yeah, at this point, I don't really understand it that well. That's why I don't fully invest myself into it. But that doesn't mean that I don't consider it or learn about it. Slowly, like I said, I do buy less than $10 amounts and quickly sell it for a profit. Yeah, and I'm a huge believer in locking in profits. This adds to your overall total return in the stock market. So if you make $40, 200, 400, 600, sell it. That's a huge problem with some investors that they get greedy and they think they're going to make a whole lot more. But honestly, if you take that profit, hey, that's on to your total stock market return overall. So start locking in those profits, learn as you go.
Yeah, definitely. You said something that I've just learned about. Definitely close a trade once you're up on profits.
Take the win. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because for me personally, I've been slowly getting into Forex trading.
Mm-hmm.
Very volatile. I was trading gold. That was a month ago, and I had $100 that I invested in for trading, and I went to sleep, and all the profits were gone. It was a negative, so I had to close a trade, and that was really bad. So
yeah, and it feels bad too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, it was at a buy position, so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, it's probably gonna go up when I wake up, and it'll be at like like $30 profit after that." Because I bought
Mm-hmm.
0.03 of a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
that can be pretty big if it goes the wrong direction. So yeah, that was I lost all my money there, and also the broker will for Forex, the broker will automatically close a trade for you without your
Oh.
permission because yeah, there's not enough capital left to take the loss. So that was something I learned as well. But I'll do a video on that because it was a very good learning experience. But I do plan on getting back into it once I build up more capital. Because yeah, it was it was a nice experience, but I lost money on that. But it's okay. We learn from our experiences.
Yeah, then it also adds to your buying power. So every time you take a profit, you have more to invest with, and this can add to the number of shares that you own, which adds to your profits. So it's beneficial in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, definitely. So always got to remember once you're in a positive, if you've done your research on that specific stock and you're watching it, definitely close the trade and take the profit. And maybe you will enter another trade, and depending on the trends. So it is a bit of a gamble, but
Yeah, can I give you like a specific example, just to illustrate this even further?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh, can I give you like a specific example of why this is so important on something that actually happened to me?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah, so like for example, I was in a Tesla swing trade position, and basically like it was like a 2-month investment, and it got to the point where the next day they were going to report earnings, and whenever a stock reports earnings, it's either going to go up a lot or go down depending on the financial report, on how they're doing that quarter and the business outlook for the next few quarters. And basically I got to like a 10 to 15% rate of return on that investment, and that accumulated to $444 in profit, something along those lines. And if I hadn't had sold it the day before the earnings, I would have pretty much not made any profit whatsoever. So imagine the difference from being able to lock in and actually having those $444 in my investment account versus completely not having any of that and possibly losing more of it as time goes on. So that's why I'm a huge believer in locking in profits. 444 versus $0 or negative is a huge difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Tesla is at $228 right now.
Yeah.
Like, how much did you invest in Tesla? How much like stocks did you buy from Tesla, and then that happened to you?
Yeah, let me pull up my account right here to show you.
Awesome.
I don't remember on top of my head, so hold on. Yeah, so it was actually just 15 shares. It's kind of hard to see, but 15 shares is actually very small. But Tesla is one of those stocks that grows a lot and also sells a lot. Like it makes a huge difference in that stock. And so it was 15 shares, and I sold it at 260, and now it's at 223. So it's about a 30, 40, 50, like about $30 to $40 difference from when I sold it to now. So 15 shares. So it was like a $3,000 investment to make
Right.
444. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of money, and that's pretty amazing that you've built it up to this point.
Yeah, and a lot of it isn't from like businesses or anything. Like that's just something that I do on the side, but I always believe in having different income sources. Like I spent a lot of time working ever since I was 15, and that has helped me a lot to have a lot in my checking account and savings, which allows me to go into different other sources of income that I can develop. And that's why I always try to teach others that always stick to maintaining and improving your income sources. Your job can definitely be one of the biggest ones. So always be working for the next promotion. I talk a lot about work ethic, and all that, and how that comes in play with your salary, and all that in my YouTube channel as well. And also like a really good job that I had, where I was able to accumulate my first $20,000. I have a video on that as well. And so yeah, there's a lot to learn, but don't be intimidated. I always feel intimidated by other people that like make like $100,000 a month on YouTube or other stuff like that, but it doesn't really matter. That doesn't impact you in any way. So I would just focus on yourself. Your only competition is yourself. So that should be your number one priority and focus all the time. And if others are doing well, that should be actually be an inspiration for you, not a disadvantage or something that you frown upon. It should be like motivation that and whatever you're focusing on, people do have results, and you can have as well, as long as you're committed, dedicated, and you have courage. You continue pressing towards. It's a difficult challenge for sure, but it's definitely pays off in the long run as long as you continue focusing on your goals little by little.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's get back to the chat. Daniel Martin says extra money for returns is always good. Yeah, that's a great tip right there, because if you're going to be cashing out on all your profits right away and something goes bad, for PayPal example, you got to transfer back from your bank account into PayPal, and that takes like 2 to 3 days, you know. So that's pretty smart. Daniel Martin says, nice haircut, Paulo, looking sharp. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You look pretty sharp too. Also, Daniel has a video of how to develop your jawline. So if you want to check that out.
Jawline?
Yeah. pretty interesting channel. Yeah, all of it is pretty interesting. So thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. All right, so let's get to the last 2 questions. Other than selling on eBay, other than stock trading, what other income streams have you had?
Well, I don't really have a lot that are built out yet. Some of them are kind of just I'm making progress towards them, but basically just stock market investing, and this can be anything from dividends to profits from swing trades, day trades, anything like that. I have my work income, and yeah, that's pretty much it. eBay sales. I can't really think of anything else, but yeah, but I am working on other ones as well. But they don't really pay me yet. So basically, just to stock market investing and work.
Okay. So what other income streams are you interested in?
I would be very interested in eventually having YouTube as an income source. I really like teaching others, and I think this can be a rewarding income source for me, because not only do I really enjoy doing it, but I think you can also scale really quickly with that platform. It's one of the things where exponential growth comes into play, where the more subscribers like you accumulate, the more likelier you are to get in the next one and the next one. And it's kind of like a cycle. Same thing like with compound interest and dividend investing. But I'm also looking towards other income sources, like for example, I've always liked Shopify stores, and it's something that I wanted to learn more about. I actually did try it for my dropshipping model, but I wasn't able to make it a success. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop and don't continue doing it. So it's still something that I have a lot more to learn about in order to fully build it out. And it was pretty interesting because it's completely different than eBay, where you actually have to do your own advertising, which they got pretty expensive for me. And but I do love the freedom of it, where you don't really have like an eBay or PayPal that can control you or set limits on you or even ban you from the platform. So that's something that I really like about it.
Awesome. So yeah, definitely check out Jason's channel. Just type in flaming profits on YouTube and subscribe. I'm really happy I got you in the channel. You're very well spoken. You know what you're talking about, and I'm pretty surprised how much you've actually invested into stocks, because not everyone's gonna have an extra $3,000 to invest in Tesla, and you already have that. And if you've actually built that, this whole time you've been working and stock trading, so that's pretty cool. So
yeah, but don't get intimidated. Like all sorts of people start with just $100, and that's usually the best place to start, because at this point you're a brand new beginner, and it all comes down to learning from the beginning. Like you can also do something called paper trading, where you get to practice with fake money. Like the brokerage will give you $10,000, and you can sort of implement different strategies that you want to learn more about with fake money. But even started with $100, you can always increment that slowly. Just set aside a certain percent of your paychecks, and um, rate of returns are the same. So if you're able to make 5-10% on a position, it's the same thing as having $1,000 to 10,000. If that person, some people that have $10,000 to invest in, they might not even get the 5% return that you got with, let's say, $500. So don't measure yourself by the amount of money that you have in your brokerage. The thing that's most important is the total rate of return. And with that, money doesn't come and play with that. So even if you have a $500 account, like I said, if you're able to get 30% in a year, and a person with $100,000 only gets a 2% return, you're definitely a lot better investor than that other person. And with time, as long as you continue setting aside a percentage of your paychecks for your brokerage account or savings account, you can definitely build up the profits in the long run.
Awesome. We also have the Commonwealth Picker. What's up? Let me put you right here. Definitely subscribe to the Commonwealth Picker. Well, he has he's been growing his channel really fast recently. So that's pretty cool. Check out his channel. He sells on eBay, and he one of the videos I saw was him dumpster diving and being able to flip that money onto eBay and make some money on that. So that's pretty cool.
Dumpster diving? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a whole nother level.
He was able to sell it on eBay, the parts for it. So that's pretty crazy. Cool. Yeah, if you can type down your name on the chat, Commonwealth Picker. I don't know your first name, but I'd like to get to know everyone's first name as well. So yeah, definitely subscribe to him. All right, so the last two questions here is, any advice for a beginner who wants to put money into trading? How much should they put in, and any advice from you?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't focus on that so much. First, just learn more about it. Like I said, I wouldn't invest in anything that I don't know about or don't fully understand it. I mean, there's always going to be something you don't understand, but as long as you have a good general sense of it, like 80 to 90% of it, then I would say go ahead and do it. Start learning. That's how I started. There's many channels out there, like financial education, Ricky Gutierrez. You might get to a point where you don't understand anything they're saying, but you just kind of have to stick to it. If it's something interesting to you, then go out and search for it. Start slowly. Do your research before you invest in any stock. But in terms of starting, I would say to be like pretty successful, I would make sure that you're not investing with less than let's say $100. Usually, this is not like a general rule, but pretty much the more expensive the stock is, usually the better it is. Like for example, Amazon, that it's almost $2,000. Well, not right now, it dropped a lot, but so for example, I would just go with like a really popular stock that has a strong balance sheet, like Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix. Those type of stocks are very solid and they have a good reputation behind them. So I would go for a common stock that won't go down in value a lot and has a strong balance sheet, good fundamentals, and even technical analysis if you want to learn more about that. But make sure you understand, and I would say a $300 to $100 investment will be a good starting investment for anyone.
300 to $300, you said? Awesome. So if you could, as you go work and, set aside some money for that and, definitely learn the market. If there was something I would have listened and learned to back then, I would have said, buy low and then sell high. Because I got into cryptocurrency when it blew up. I mean, it was pretty much at a high point back then, and I just put like I just put in $100, and it blew up. So the value started going down, you know, and now the value is slowly going up. But who knows? Maybe I won't be able to reach that position that I had before. But
That's why technical analysis is very important, because it kind of gives you that understanding of when is a stock at a discount and when is it overvalued. And you can apply this to pretty much everything. Like if you buy a phone that normally costs $1,000, if you buy it for $700, then you could sell it for a profit, just like with eBay. But if the phone is worth like 1,200 instead of the $1,000, then it doesn't make sense for you to buy it at that the overweight price instead of the cheaper ones. So technical analysis kind of forms some trend lines between different price points. At what price point is this stock overvalued? At what price point is this stock at a discount? And take advantage, like I said, times like this where the stock market's not doing that well. This is the best time for you to invest. I would buy 3 times as more as you normally do during times like this.
So, for example, Tesla right now, are you able to buy like a quarter of Tesla if you don't have that much money? Can you do that or not?
No, not a quarter. But with M1 Finance, I think the minimum you can do is $10. So if you have $10, you can do it. Your gain is not going to be anything significant.
Right.
But $10, probably just 2 3 cents if it does well. But there's also many different approaches. Like long-term investing, it's a lot more simple. Like for example, there's an ETF, which means like thousands of stocks in one single stock. Like for example, VOO is the Vanguard S&P 500. If you buy one single share of that, it costs like 250 or 260, but you're literally buying a portion of ownership in 500 of the best companies in the overall stock market. They have the largest market cap, which means they're worth more money than all the other ones. And by you buying one share of that, you're literally owning 500 stocks all at the same time. So it's very diversified. You don't have all your eggs in one basket. It's very simple, and if you do this, like for example, every single month you get a paycheck. If you set aside money to buy one share of that, if you do this like 30, 40 years, it definitely accumulates a lot, and you also get dividends from that. And that's kind of how 401ks work and retirement accounts. They take advantage of time because overall the stock market's always going up. We go through times like recessions, like we're getting close to and we've gone through before. But overall, in the long run, the stock market makes you money. So that's why it's very important that you focus on the long-term aspect. But like I said, if you're really interested in investing in stocks and it's something that you want to learn more about like closely and watch like every single day, then you can go into some sort of trading where you swing trade a stock for a short-term profit. But you definitely have to make sure you understand it first before doing that. But overall, I would start doing it long-term, and based on that, how it goes, I would consider doing short-term trading.
Outstanding. Perfect. So, for example, what is a dividend? What is a stock that pays monthly dividends? Because I know stocks that pay, quarterly. For example, like GE or Ford,
Mm-hmm.
and I do have those currently, but I'm planning on selling them and then transferring all my stocks into. You talked about Robinhood, which doesn't have any fees, which is actually pretty smart. So yeah, I'm still learning on it. But what is an example of a stock that pays monthly dividends?
So monthly dividend stocks are usually filled up with REITs. They're called real estate investment trust funds, REITs. And these type of stocks are kind of special because they focus on investing in real estate, and because of the cash flow that real estate properties produce, they're able to consistently pay investors monthly. But you do have to make sure you do your part and invest in making sure that's a good stock. It has a good balance sheet and all of that. But my favorite dividend stock that's a monthly dividend stock is O. It's ticker symbol O, and it's Realty Income Corporation. And that one has been paying like a dividend every single month for more than 30 years. So it's a very safe company. And they actually built a brand over being a monthly dividend company. So it's something they're proud of, and they're going to continue doing that. But yeah, like I said, they're usually dominated by REIT stocks. There's like Stag, Industrial, STAG. There's Main, MAIN. There's a lot. There's also ETFs that pay you monthly dividend stocks like SDYL, which is like the S&P 500, but it has more of like dividend stocks only. That's why it's able to pay that monthly dividend. But there's actually lists of them online if you want to look for them. Just look up monthly paying dividend stocks. But just because it's a monthly dividend stock, it doesn't mean you should buy it. Like I said, do your part in seeing the balance sheet, the overall business outlook, what exactly they do. Make sure you understand it first, and start slowly buy one share. See that they pay you the monthly payment so that you build confidence, and then maybe next month you buy 2 shares. You see your monthly pay increases by double, and then you buy a third share, and then you continue doing that. And you can also do some calculations where if you have a certain amount of shares, eventually with those dividend payments, they're actually going to pay you the full price that you would pay for one share of that stock. And with that dividend payment that you receive, you can choose to reinvest that dividend payment and buy in additional shares. And if you continue doing this, it turns like into an insane compound interest effect that takes the most advantage through time. So this is why time is such an important factor. And right now that most people are young, I would definitely take advantage of time, because the biggest factor when it comes down to stock market returns and overall success in investing is time. It's not which stock you invest in. It's not what type of investment style. It's more related to time.
Awesome. Well said. So let me read the last few comments here. Commonwealth Picker says Kevin Brown, so it's good to know your first name, Kevin. And Kevin also says, I'm putting away a little of my kids' money now, just a little bit now, compounding, which will make them rich since they are so young.
Yeah, definitely.
That's smart. Yeah, Kevin's kids are on his channel. They also help out with the reselling as well, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Commonwealth Picker says, have you ever heard of acorns?
Yep. Yes, I talked about it earlier. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, talked about it. So yeah, I'll definitely check into that as well. And he says, I use it to round up my eBay shipping costs and invest every single day.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that and do my research on it. So yeah, we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the chat. Jason, if you could just give us the last few words and any advice or anything else you want to say. His channel is on the description. Feel free to click it and subscribe. I've definitely learned a lot from him just through this 1 hour, and he's a very smart and patient guy in terms of investing, and he also did some reselling as well, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely check him out. So if you can say the last few words or whatever you feel like saying in terms of any advice you have, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, whatever you do, we live in a time where we have the most benefit that most people didn't have before. So now you have access to learn everything you want to learn. If you want to learn about stock market investing, you can do it simply by using the internet. If you want to learn about selling online, you can do it with the internet. If you want to learn anything, how to fix a chair, how to fix a washing machine, anything like that, you can learn it. And this is something that a lot of people didn't have before. So definitely, we live in the biggest opportunity that many generations haven't had. So I would definitely encourage you to take advantage of this. Why would you not take advantage of this where others couldn't do it? There's many things that you can do. You don't have to stick to one thing. There's thousands and thousands of things that you can learn. As long as you're consistent and have goals that you're working towards. And Tony Robbins always says that progress is a key to happiness. So as long as you're consistently working towards your goals, you're getting a little bit closer every single day, even with small things like making your bed in the morning. Those little things contribute to your overall happiness and satisfaction to your life. So with anything, it just takes time. Slowly learn. Learning is one of the most important things when it comes down to doing anything. So yeah, I know a lot of us that share the same inspirations. All of us are entrepreneurial from birth, pretty much. We've always been interested in businesses. We know that the key to our success is profits, not a wage. A wage will only make you a living, but profits will make you a fortune. So as long as you're consistently focusing on your goals, dreams, ambitions, then I know that you can achieve anything. A big problem in our society is setting goals too low. And we've actually been able to achieve such high things. There's definitely outperformers in the world. So there's no reason why we can't be at those same levels. People have gone from having drug problems to being insanely successful, billionaires, billions of dollars. So there's no reason why we can't do it as well. Don't be intimidated by others. You're always your only competition. So yeah, it's a crazy world. There's a lot of challenges. You're gonna have sleepless nights. It's definitely not an easy road, and we're definitely taking the hard path. But also, like Dave Ramsey says, we're living like no one else, so that later we can live and give like no one else. We're paying the price right now, so that later on we can live a fulfilling life that we can say that we've built with our own hands, and we weren't spoon fed by anyone. So as long as you continue and grow and learn, you can definitely achieve anything you want.
Awesome, Jason. Well spoken. Yep. So, any questions on the chat? Go ahead and leave a comment. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be on the channel. I put everyone who's on a interview with me on this wall, so I'm just gonna put.
Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you.
Flaming Profit. So, yeah, definitely. You're also on Instagram, right, Jason?
Yes.
And under Flaming Profits as well as your handle. Yep, definitely go subscribe to Jason's channel and his type his Instagram and follow him. He also, how often do you post on Instagram?
I usually post whenever I have a new video. I post it on there. I've been starting to do that. It's a fairly new thing for me, but I would say like 3 or 4 times per week.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, definitely follow his page for whenever he posts any important things about the market and trading. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone on the chat, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to Jason's channel. It'll be on the description below, and I will leave his Instagram tag on the description. Until then, hustle mode on. See you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, Ryan Hustler.